The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has ruled out printing additional Naira to address funding gaps in the 2025 budget. He made this known during a strategic session with the Senate on budget performance and fiscal policy amid concerns over delayed capital releases and contractor payments. Edun rejected suggestions of fresh ways and means of financing as used in previous administrations, stressing that the era of unchecked monetary financing is over.
Result, and that resumption of legality, of transparency, and of application of the law and the guidelines by Central Bank and by the Ministry of Finance, among others, that has meant that in an event where there is funding that should be made available, it is not going to be done by printing of money. It has to be done by revenue. It has to be done by sensible borrowing, and it has to be done within limits that are sustainable.
Also speaking, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Atiku Bagudu said Nigeria's key challenge is the relatively small size of its economy compared to peers like Brazil, Indonesia and Pakistan.
We are not where we want to be compared to countries with whom we are competing. Of the countries whose population is closest to ours, Brazil, Pakistan, Indonesia, we are small in every way. Budget size, GDP, and even interestingly debt. So these things are connected. Brazil, the GDP of Brazil, 212 million people, just about the size of Nigeria. The GDP is 2.2, almost 10 times ours. But on the other hand, their debt is almost 2 trillion. Again, maybe 12 times ours. While their revenue budget is now approaching 1 trillion. What does it tell you? There is a nexus between these three.
Chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, Senator Sani Musa, said the session was convened to scrutinize government borrowings, approved funds and appropriation gaps. Lawmakers signaled tighter oversight over capital project execution and contractor payments.
The committee is deeply concerned about persistent weaknesses in budget performance. We continue to observe delayed fund releases, under execution of capital projects, weak revenue remittances, and poor alignment between appropriations and implementation. These patterns within fiscal deficits weaken service delivery and erode the credibility of budgeting process. In this regard, we must ask a critical question. Critical macro-fiscal questions concerning the borrowings approved to finance the 2024 and 2025 appropriation gaps.
The engagement underscores growing legislative scrutiny of fiscal management as the government insists on discipline and sustainable financing to steer the 2025 budget implementation.